Okay, radius is designated by an R preceding the dimension value. The tolerance zone has two boundaries. The surface may lie anywhere inside, and you can reverse the allowed curvature within that boundary. So it doesn't have to be consistent all the way across as long as it's within the boundary. Unlike a controlled radius, it's designated by a CR preceding the dimension value. And the tolerance zone has the same two boundaries as a radius, and arcs may be anywhere inside the radius boundaries, but you cannot reverse the curvature within that boundary. Machining capability. You want to take machining capability in consideration with your tolerances. The range of accuracy is dependent on the machine quality, cutting tool accuracy, machine speeds and feeds, and coolant. Tolerance is applied to product impact, machine type, and process. The smaller tolerance values generally increase the cost of machine parts. Might reduce assembly costs though. The data in the machinery's handbook can be used for general guidance. They have tables on how to estimate time based off different processes. Dimension revision. Any change to product definition after being released for production requires a revision. Okay, it's required due to errors in the design changes or manufacturing-based changes. Updated model geometry in compliance with revised dimensions. And identified in multi-view drawings by a node or symbol. So typically you have on most drawings, you're going to have a revision block that's going to tell you the revision date, when it was approved. You're going to have a revision letter or number associated with it, and possibly zones of the drawing that changed, and a brief description of what was affected. Okay, surface texture specifications is the last topic we're covering in this presentation. Congratulations, you're almost at the end. It's determined according to the part's function. If surface texture isn't critical to your function, it's often not defined, or there's a general note in the title block saying it must be better than a certain roughness. Size specifications and tolerance on dimensions have an indirect effect on the function of the part. Smaller tolerances have a more exacting fabrication process, which generally results in a better quality texture. Specified in models by showing the appropriate symbols applied to a surface and in an orthographic views on the profile of the surface. And avoid increasing manufacturing costs by only applying requirements needed to meet the design function. So, like I said, don't put a lot of specifications on the finish unless it's required. So the surface texture conditions. Roughness is the height of the small peaks and valleys on a surface. The roughness width is the distance across the peaks and valleys. Waviness is a larger variation of surface texture than roughness. And the term lay is the direction of the tool mark, scratches, or grain desired if you want to define them. For example, if you have a circular lay, that typically require them to turn the part on a lathe as opposed to a linear lay pattern, which would allow milling marks. And flaws controlled by noted requirements. So I have worked some places where they were trying to control perceived flaws using lay marks because they wanted a consistent aesthetic look of the part. Okay, surface texture symbols. They're drawn with specific proportions and placement of values. They're attached directly to a surface of model or by a leader, and attached to object lines of an orthographic view or by a leader line. They're kind of similar to welding symbols, although they don't denote a side of a surface. Okay, our surface roughness It's shown in the V of the symbol. So that's the most common place. You may only see one number there or a range, and you might see the rest of the symbols blank. One value is the maximum acceptable roughness, and if there's only one value there. If there are two, they indicate the maximum and minimum acceptable roughness. Typically, you just have a maximum. People are just concerned about having it too rough. They don't care if you make your parts finer if they're still making money. And the roughest cutoff value is shown under the horizontal line. And this one particular has a perpendicular lay pattern, and that would be lines perpendicular to whatever line was denoted on the drawing. Okay, waviness is another effect. Surface texture variation on which roughness is superimposed, so maybe farther over across the surface. And values are shown in surface texture symbol under the horizontal line right of the roughness width value, and expressed in decimal parts of an inch or millimeters, but we're talking very, very small numbers, and not to be meant as a replacement for a flatness tolerance. A lay is a direction of surface lines caused by a fabrication process. So a sandblaster hits it with peen sand is going to be I think just called a random pattern or distributed pattern. The direction can have an effect on the part's function, specified by showing a symbol as part of the surface texture symbol. And supplemental geometry may be needed to show the symbol direction on the models, and indicated where the profile of the affected surface is shown in orthographic views. There are historical finish symbols in the past practice that are obsolete, but you might see them on older drawings. There's a finish symbol indicated machine surfaces without surface texture requirements. There's one that's shaped like a V that's applied similarly to surface textured, so they do want texture on it. There's also one that's a lowercase f that's applied across the object or an extension line from that machine surface. Okay, in summary, in this unit you learned how to properly apply dimensions to technical drawings, making sure they follow standard guidelines for clarity and accuracy. You worked with different geometric shapes, understood how fits and tolerances affected mechanical parts, and calculated size limits for features that need to fit together. We also covered important industry standards like ASME Y14.5-2018, which is the current standard to help you create precise and functional designs. By the end, you saw how dimensions and tolerances impact manufacturing and learned how to include surface texture specifications in your drawings. In conclusion, by the end of this lesson, you were able to clearly apply dimensions in annotated models and multi-view drawings by complying with the stated general dimension guidelines. Apply dimensions to any of the geometric shapes commonly found on the mechanical parts, and cite the standardized types of fits for inch dimensions and describe the general condition associated with each type, and calculate and apply limits of size for mating features. We also explained rule number 1 and rule number 2 of the ASME Y14.5-2018 standard. Provide examples of effects that dimensions and tolerances have on manufacturing, and completed a surface texture specification when provided the allowable variations. Thank you for joining me in this lecture. We've reached the end, and I'll catch you on the next one.